Get ready for this, motherfucker.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy, the Six Cycle Surgeon, the Operator, here on Operator Gaming, and I'm going to be showing you guys, this is a new series I call Let Your Perks Do the Work. Now, the way this series works is I'm going to be telling you guys, how to allow your perks to do the work for you versus you overworking when you could allow your perks to take some of the ease off in this stressful situation. Now, keep in mind, I am not a COD pro by any means necessary, but I have been playing Call of Duty, honestly, a hell of a lot longer than 90% of the COD pros out there. I've been playing Call of Duty since the beginning, since, FPS has started getting pretty popular. And I'm not talking about, when stuff like that, but I mean Call of Duty, when the era of Call of Duty in the early 2000s and everything started getting pretty popular. That's when I started playing it, longer than a lot of these COD pros, but that's not the point. Let's get away from that. Point is, though, is I know a little bit about how to play multiplayer, so I'm going to give you guys my information. And one thing that I, take pride in is creating ultimate knife classes to, basically allow you to run around with a knife and do work. Okay, so what we're going to be talking about today is let your perks do the work, right? If you've ever done anything with anybody, like any construction work or anything like that, you probably heard this reference for let the tool do the work for you. If you've ever been swinging a hammer before, you don't want to choke up on the hammer and swing with all your might to beat that nail in. No, you want to choke down on the hammer, and then you want to allow the hammer's weight. Just slowly flick your wrist, allow the hammer's weight to do the work for you. You're not exerting a lot of energy. You're not having to really do much. You're allowing the tool to work for you. So our perks are our tools. Let's learn how to use them. So class 3, custom class 3, I have the butterfly knife. It doesn't really matter what you have. This is my favorite. Now keep in mind that these classes are also built around core. Even though I play nothing but hardcore, these classes are built around core, mainly because it's very hard to run around with a knife on hardcore, simply because a lot of perks can't work to your, to full efficiency on hardcore. Like some of these perks won't work to full efficiency unless I have a UAV up or I have a sound whore class. I'll explain what that is later. And also I'm going to have a demonstration of how I use these, how to use the perks, and, good demonstration of using them to their full abilities. So first off, this is my first class, my favorite class. Now you notice I don't have any lethals or tacticals. That's because I just don't use them. They don't suit me. A lot of people tell you need smoke or you need concussions. Sometimes people say flashbangs, but not so much. So first off, what we're going to notice is the 6th Sense perk. Displays minimap indicator with the direction of nearby enemies. Now what this is going to do is, on the minimap, you're going to see, if you've ever played Destiny and you see, it's almost like a flashlight, a little cartoon emblem flashlight, it goes out into almost a V shape. Well, what that's going to do is that's going to give you a general direction when your enemies get so close into your vicinity. It's going to give you a general direction of where the enemy is coming from, so you can kind of gauge, especially if you're behind a wall or something, when the enemy's coming, where they're coming from. So then, Blind Eye cannot be targeted by enemy aircraft weapon systems. Now this is really useful in core because core has a higher percentage rate for actual score streaks or kill streaks. So this is going to be very useful because ground streaks you can handle pretty well, but aerial streaks or aircrafts, that's not going to fly. That ain't going to fly worth shit. Now typically in this type of situation I would use this, but I would mainly use Ghost just because it's more of a chance, because of the score streak percentage of people getting them more often, more of a chance that I'm going to need a UAV assist, by Ghost. But as you can see, I have Prestige, so I don't have Ghost yet. Okay, so now we're going to move over. Tracker. See digital imprint of enemy footsteps. Now, what this is going to help us with is we're going to see an imprint so far off, I just gauge it and say 30 feet, of the enemy's footsteps. This is going to be a digital orange imprint that even though my enemy is not at that point anymore, I'm going to see a digital imprint of his feet, of where he is going. I'm able to track him even though he is not in that area, that precise area. He's just now in the general vicinity. I'm able to track him, and this is going to help us find a lot of our kills, because when knifing, you want to use tactics. You don't want to run head into somebody, unless you have a class built up to that, which I'm going to show you in a second. So then we have Hardwired. This is a very, very, very important perk. Hardwired. Immune to counter UAV, power core, EMP grenade, and smoke screen. Won't trigger trip mine, shock charges, or C4 alarm. Reduces your digital imprint against enemy tracker, and 6th Sense perk. Okay, so the first few ones, maybe not counter UAV, not too much, but power core, EMP grenade, and smoke screen, that doesn't really matter. That's not what we're looking for. Won't trigger trip mines, shock charges, or C4 alarm. That is the most important part. You see, with trip mines, if you did not know that this is a tactic a lot of people use, especially in hardcore and core, it doesn't really matter, but in team deathmatch specifically, what people will do is they will throw trip mines and a shock charge. Trip mine is like a bouncing Betty. It will, shoot up around 4 feet in the air and blast around the upper torso area, causing a disc effect of explosives. So then we have the shock charge. Now, how you get rid of the trip mine, though, how you defend against it is you just simply go prone, or you slide through it, or you run through it fast enough. But the shock charge actually is a stun charge. It's kind of like a stun gun. It stops you basically stops you in your tracks. So they plant the shock charge right next to the trip mine, so it'll force you to stop, won't let you go prone, and you'll get blasted by that trip mine. That is a no-no. So we're gonna stop that. That way, when we're running in or we're trying to get somewhere, or try to get away from somebody, or trying to track somebody, we won't trigger any of those. The C4 alarm, I don't really use C4. I don't actually know what the C4 alarm, uses. I've been playing this game since, the beta, and I don't know what it is. I don't use C4. Reduces your digital imprint against enemy tracker and 6th Sense perk. This is also useful, but not so much, considering that, it's not really, we're going to be using tracker against them, and most people don't use tracker or 6th Sense. I have actually noticed. I'm sure there's plenty of people that do, but people typically in core, hardcore more so, but core not so much. That's a very important perk. Now, typically on this class, I'm running Blast Suppressor right now. Also very good. It is very good to use. It really depends on you. But typically, I run Engineer and Dead Silence. Now let me tell you why I run Engineer and Dead Silence. Engineer is kind of like sit rep, even though it's not going to give the description. I can tell you what it is. It's like sit rep. You're able to see enemy equipment, including score streaks and deployables, such as trip mine, shock charges, and everything. Just because we're avoiding them and we have a perk to get rid of them doesn't mean we don't want to see them. We do want to see them, because that is going to give us a telltale sign that that enemy is in the general vicinity. We are hunting them right now, so we need to know where they are. We need to stalk them. Dead Silence speaks for itself. Reduces footprint noise almost to minimal. Now, if somebody's running the Sound Whore class, which means Dead Silence and Awareness, that is, enemy movements are easier to hear. They're going to be rocking Turtle Beaches or above. Typically, Turtle Beaches, X32s. Well, that's Xbox, but I mean, I haven't used Turtle Beaches in a long time, so I don't know. But let's just say X32s and above, all the way to Astros and all that kind of shit. This is the type of system they would use to be able to hear you coming, but it kind of defeats the purpose when you have 6th Sense perk. So let's move on. This is pretty much the class you want to use to stealthily take down your enemies and track them. So let's move on to this. This is more the rush perk. Okay, so right now I have concussion, and I have double concussion. So then we go back to the 6th Sense perk. We already know what that is. That allows us to see a general vicinity of where our enemy is coming from when they get into our vicinity on the minimap. We have Hardwired, immune to counter UAV, power core, EMP grenade. The most important part, does not trigger trip mine, shock charges, or C4 alarm, and reduces your digital imprint against enemy tracker perk and 6th Sense perk. Tracker, see our footprints so we can track somebody down. GungHo. Now this class is built a little bit different. Now typically I would still wear Dead Silence, but I'm using Awareness right now just as a filler. GungHo is very important for the concussions, because this is going to allow us to sprint and drop our concussions, or throw our concussions and any of our deployables if we choose to use smoke, EMP, or even lethals. This is going to allow us to do so while sprinting. We don't have to slow down. We can keep that momentum up. Awareness, it's easier to hear enemy footsteps. Like I said, typically I would still run Dead Silence, but you know how it is. So now I'm actually going to give you guys a good demonstration. I have some gameplays from one of my previous montages, some other gameplay I got together for this. Guys, I present to you, let your perks do the work. I will see you in a second, having details on how we do things. Alright, let's get into it. Okay, so first off, this is going to be a really good representation. I got a better one later, but of how to use your 6th Sense perk to your advantage. This is going to be really the best way to use it. So now let's pay attention. Let's freeze frame. Now you see that right there. You see that red blimp going out almost like a flashlight emblem, like I was talking about before. This right here is going to allow me to anticipate where my enemy is coming from. I already saw him, but I need to know where he's coming from when I make the preemptive strike. So this is going to give me a good direction. And then stab. But my 6th Sense perk, oh wait, I saw that guy, but it also saved me, because 6th Sense also makes a ringing sound, so that allowed me to anticipate where my enemy was coming from and how he's going to stay there for a moment, as you'll see. And then I'll escape death. See, I knew it was going to pop out. Let's move on over here. This is a good way to use your 6th Sense perk as well, but this is also countered with, you see his gun sticking out? This is also countered with, my actual, this is also countered with my blast suppressor, because I slid in. Now, anybody with a keen ear or using an amplifier, the Sound Whore class would have immediately have heard me. So that actually saved me, and my 6th Sense saved me as well. Another thing right here is preemptive strike. You gotta click those buttons. I'll be talking about that in a second. You gotta just assault. So this is a good representation of tracker as well. I got a better one later. This is going, you see, I already see my enemy, but you see the digital footprints. Now, if my enemy turned that corner before, then I would have been able to track him using those footprints and track him effectively. If I had dead silence, he would not have heard me coming whatsoever, which actually on this class I do have dead silence as well. So this is a really good representation of that because he doesn't see me. But unfortunately, I do not get the kill, as you'll see in a moment. I'm just going to die flat on the ground, so, you know. Now this is a good way to be able to use your perks. As we talked about before, you got to learn how to use them. Now after learning how to use them, you'll learn how to do this. You just got to stop. Now this is going to give me, I already passed a couple trip mines before that, so I already know, where the trip mines are. It didn't, that guy's just a bonus kill. It didn't trigger them, and I was allowing my 6th sense perk, so I would know not to go in there. Now this is another way. This is not really a perk, but this is blended into your environment. This right here, what you're going to see, is me using my colors of my camouflage to contrast my area. So now what I'm going to do real quick is blend into my environment now. So let's go to free cam. Okay, and you see this guy's coming about. There's the tracker at work. So what you're going to see is he's not going to be paying attention to me. This is going to be me coming around. You see that right there? I'm letting my colors. I'll talk about that in just a second. So let's see what happens when he doesn't look down and pay attention. Oh, yep, he got stabbed in the throat hole like a motherfucker. Alright, so you see now, right now, I'm using the caterpillar. Zoom in on him for a second. Anyway, you see right now that I'm using the caterpillar. This is going to contrast with the rocks. The green is going to contrast with the ground, and the white is going to contrast with the snow. Don't know why there's snow in the desert, but whatever. Anyway, let's move on. Alright, so this is another good representation using all my perks. This is dead silence. They do not hear me coming. I already passed 2 trip mines and 1 shock charge. Didn't trigger them. They don't know where I am. You also have to watch your minimap. That is something very, very, very important, is to always watch your minimap, because yes, your 6th sense can take you far, but it won't help you with enemies from a good distance. So now I know that there's enemies over there, so I'm allowing my dead silence, my hardwire, my tracker, and everything go all at once. And now I just got a double kill because they didn't know I was stalking behind that wall. I knew they were coming. So another thing I want to talk about real quick and just say, guys, you got to slash that blade. A lot of knifers have the problem of not wanting to knife their teammates. You got to have quick reaction panic knife. You're using that knife just like then. I didn't even think twice. I just clicked the button. It's just natural instinct for me to panic knife when it comes to using the knife in that situation. So right here is another good representation of the actual tracker perk at work. As you can see, if you pay attention, there's digital imprints. Let's go out of this real quick. Let's go to free cam. Alright, so what are you going to be seeing as you see these? I've already zoned in on this. I know my target is not there. I do not see him, but I see his footprint, so now I'm going to stalk him. There he is. So now this is a way, you see the digital imprints. I can see them from a good distance, and when you're actually playing, you'll see them from a great distance too. So let's kick this thing. Let's go third person for this one. Yeah, let's go third person with this one and see what happens. Alright, there we go. Let's go. Alright, now I've already zoned in on him. I have dead silence. He's not going to see me coming, and slice. Done. See, it's just done like that, son. I mean, I died, but hey, I got the kill, right? That's what I'm talking about. Alright, so this is another good representation of the rush class. I don't really use the rush class that much, but this is a class for getting it done. So right now, this is all about speed. This is not really about anything else. I'm being able to track my enemies fast. Another thing to note is that tracker perk will also allow you to see imprints underwater as well. I got a nice little double kill right here. Yeah, backstab. Alright, so that's a really good representation of that class. This is another way to use it is right here. This is a way to use your rush class in more of a stealth / save your life. You see that? Tracker saved my life because I was focused on finding the enemy. Didn't trigger that shock charge. Got a nice double kill there. That right there, that is the perk from Outrider. I can't avoid that. So this is a good good representation. This is actually the stealth class again. Now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using my dead silence. Now I use my dead silence. He doesn't see me and my sound suppressor or blast suppressor, so he did not hear me boost around, so he couldn't get any visuals on me. So now as they fire on, I'm going to take a sneak attack kill. I'm just going to come right in and stab him in his throat. He didn't see anything. Anyway guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, there's a little annotation right there. You might want to subscribe because there's going to be some awesome stuff coming up in the future. Hell, I already have awesome stuff on my channel. Anyway guys, no, seriously though, if you have any suggestions for any perk setups or class setups that you think I should tackle on this type of situation, just leave a comment down below. But y'all already know the deal. This has been your boy, the 6th Psycho Surgeon, the Operator, here on Operator Gaming, and I be out. Peace.